all you ambitious creatives out there, wondering how you can get into a great Ivy League school, there is a unique strategy that takes less effort but produces better results. But I must warn you, it is not for the faint of heart. To achieve results, you will have to go against the crowd. This is not the Navy. The Navy is for all those straight-A scholars who want to compete for president of every social club. Now, this strategy is more for the most intelligent juvenile delinquents, the outsiders who don't fit in, the pirates with the audacity to be awesome on their own. Let's call them creatives. You, like everyone else who hasn't really done their research, are probably under the misconception that to get into a great school like Stanford, you need to take all of the most difficult advanced placement courses, become president of every extracurricular in school, spend every free hour you have studying to get perfect grades, and get a perfect score on the SAT.
Round 1.
But this simply just is not true. Just look at the data revealed in the findings of the trial against Harvard, in which it was implicated that the admissions gave preference to athletes and was intentionally discriminating against Asian American students. To get into your number one school, you don't need any of those things, except maybe a perfect score on the SAT. But don't worry, our strategy will get you that score, but without having to commit so many hours to so many activities. Okay, so what is this strategy that's going to allow me to drop my hardest AP courses, allow us to drop all but our single most important extracurricular activities, and get into Stanford with average grades, reduce my course load and workload by half, and get a nearly perfect score on the SAT? Actually, the method is simple. And it may take less effort, but it will take more courage. Let's call it the After School Innovative Sloganable Project, or we could call it the Saturday Morning Project. It's actually quite similar to the strategy Mr. Beast used to repeatedly become a famous YouTuber. No, I'm not talking about pouring millions of cash on poor people, but I'm talking about the interesting challenges he takes on. These challenges are uniquely innovative. And the way that we're going to do it is not hard to do. It's easy to explain in one line and makes for a great story. This innovative strategy could be used to achieve outstanding results in any competition. In his book, The High School Superstar, New York Times bestseller and MIT trained computer science professor at Georgetown University, Cal Newport, interviewed students who took more innovative approaches to their Ivy League admissions and actually outperformed their scholarly classmates. Here are 3 examples of students who took on what we will call the Innovative Sloganable Project. Don't mind the big words, we'll break them down and explain what all this means after you see it in practice. For example, Chris Gilbo decided to see every country on Earth by the age of 35. This is an innovative, sloganable project. It's innovative in that no one else had ever thought to take on this particularly crazy task. And it's sloganable. He's able to explain his innovative project in one big catchy line. Or what about Jessica, who started a business and then became a tech insider business blogger? Or how about Ben, who was able to get a book deal with a publisher, writing a how-to guide on computer programming for teenagers as a teenager? These are stories that would intrigue any admissions clerk. It requires a path to mastery that isn't as obvious as becoming a chess champ, a lead debater, or champion of, volleyball, basketball, swimming, or any other sport that is both popular and thus extraordinarily competitive. These more innovative challenges, they're not harder to do. Think about that for a moment. Becoming a chess champion is hard. Becoming one of the best athletes in any sport is hard. Becoming one of the lead debaters in the country is hard, if not nearly impossible, due to the competition. How would you do it? You would have to practice really, really hard. The method actually is not hard to imagine. As a matter of fact, any one of us can probably imagine ourselves dedicating ourselves to mastery of such a skill, even though it is nearly impossible to do. Though difficult, the path itself is clear. But visiting 50 different countries, handling the logistics on a tight budget, becoming an insider tech business blogger, or how would you get a book publishing deal? They're actually not as difficult so much as they are just confusing. The method is not obvious. The how is not clear. How these people did that exactly is not easy to imagine because we don't know the first thing about visiting 50 different countries on a budget. We don't know what it's like to become an insider tech business blogger or how to get a book publishing deal. So think from the perspective of an admissions staff. In their eyes, who would you rather read about or interview? One of the thousands of students who spent every day swimming laps, participated in more than 5 different extracurricular activities, passed multiple AP exams, or spread themselves too thin to do anything actually interesting, but still managed to get exactly the same grades and exam results as the other top 10 students? Or would you rather read about and interview the female entrepreneur who started an insider tech blog? Or would you rather read about the boy who published a popular book on programming as an unpublished author? Or perhaps you'd like to read about the girl who took an interest in environmental biology and did experiments on horseshoe crabs together with a local scientist to make new discoveries about emergent behavior. Okay, that last one is a little less sloganable, but you see my point, right? We want to avoid the obvious. If you want the same results as everybody else, then do the same thing as everybody else. But if you want to stand out, you've got to drop all of that unnecessary stuff and go all in to develop one deep interest. Paul Graham, founder of the Y Combinator, in his essay, How to Do Great Work, said the first step is to decide what you want to work on. The work you choose needs to have 3 qualities. First, it has to be something that you have a natural aptitude for, something that you have a deep interest in. But how do you find that one unique rabbit hole? Your deep interest that gets you excited each day to read up on, explore, and experiment with. And how are you going to turn that deep interest into an innovative, sloganable project? Oh, and just in case you think I forgot, how is this also going to help me get a nearly perfect score on the language section of the SAT? Well, this is the hard part. I said the strategy was simple, but I didn't say it was obvious. There are 2 things you will have to do, and there are no shortcuts here. But don't worry, it's fun and worthwhile, so why would you want a shortcut? First, you are going to have to develop a reading habit. In fact, you are going to have to read a lot. Without exception, nearly everyone who achieves anything great in life is an avid, lifelong learner with a healthy reading habit. Reading is the fastest way to get exposed to a lot of ideas, and is the fastest way to find unique avenues of expertise. Reading books truly is a superpower. Experts spend their entire careers discovering these methodologies and deliver their lifetime of expertise to you in one easy-to-read, condensed format. You are downloading their best ideas directly into your brain. If that isn't the Matrix, I don't know what is. Great minds learn from great minds. Curiosity is what drives people like Leonardo da Vinci, Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, Jennifer Doudna, and Bill Gates to achieve what no one else has. And reading is what helped them to map out what is known to discover the adjacent possible at the edge. To learn more about how real innovation takes place, you can do a quick search for the term adjacent possible. Find a deep interest that suits your talents, interests, and particular uniqueness. Reading a wide range of books will help you to find a unique subject that fits your particular interests and strengths. Once you find a subject that really piques your interest, you can then read everything there is to know about that one deep interest. As Bill Gurley said in his speech about how to succeed and thrive in a career you love, with your access to the internet, you no longer have any excuse not to become the single most knowledgeable expert about any given topic. Really, it's not even that hard. It's actually a lot of fun. There has never been a greater time to nerd out on any one particular subject, and it's never been more rewarding to do so. On the internet, you cannot imagine just how many people are following any particular subject. And if you become an expert with something to say on the matter, you cannot imagine how many people will suddenly start listening. Reading a lot of books is also by far the best way to achieve better results on the language portion of the SAT test. The whole point of the test is to find out how well you know words, and no one has more exposure to a wide range of words than readers. It's also a timed test, so being able to speed read with clear comprehension also helps. But Sean, I don't really like to read. Yeah, you and mostly everyone else. Those of us who read a lot are becoming more and more rare. All the world's founders, CEOs, and the most innovative individuals who disrupt world industries, nearly all of them are voracious readers. But it all starts with finding a book that you like to read. It's not that hard. You find the right book, and you won't be able to stop reading. Also, you don't have to do it alone. Becoming a pirate may make you more independent, and obviously reading is a solo activity, but the best way to find good books and develop a reading habit is to surround yourself with others who are doing the same. At www.bestclassever.org, you can find book suggestions from other high school superstars, discuss the books you just read so that you remember the ideas, and you can even join a crew to encourage one another in your Ivy League admissions adventure. Those who read together win together. Isn't it crazy that to beat the scholar, you'll simply have to out-nerd him by becoming a bookworm? Ironic, I know. So if you pirates aren't put off by a lot of light reading, maybe you are beginning to see how you really can outperform hardworking scholarly types in the Ivy League admissions game by going all in on what will be for you a much more fun, high-risk, high-reward gamble on whatever it is you find the most deeply interesting. And even if it doesn't get you into your favorite school, you still win because becoming an expert with marketable knowledge and becoming a lifelong learner was the whole point of education to begin with. By achieving the true purpose, you will most certainly gain the skills needed to start a lucrative career. Round 2. Creatives. But there is a little more to it because, unfortunately, reading alone is not enough. The second thing you will need to do is volunteer taking on a Saturday morning project to gain access to a closed community. To learn more about this step, watch the Ivy League Admissions Strategy Part 2 in this 3-part video series. Hit subscribe to get a notification when it comes out, or find it in our Best Class Ever video feed. We're not just good or even better. This is Best Class Ever.